My sister texted, "No room for you." I laughed, canceled everything with one email, and booked a flight to Iceland. A week later, sipping coffee at the airport, her dream wedding collapsed. My phone exploded. 150 missed calls. "You shouldn't even exist in this family." That was the first thing Clara said when I walked into the dining room. Not hello, not sit down, just a knife to my chest in front of everyone. The chandelier buzzed overhead, one light flickering. My father's fork clinked against his plate, sharp and slow, like a warning. Mom kept her hands folded in her lap, knuckles white, eyes staring at her glass of water as if it could save her. "You think silence makes you innocent?" Clara's voice cut through the room. "You've been hiding for years, John. I know what you did. And if I open my mouth tonight..." She leaned forward, whispering like it was poison meant just for me. "They'll finally see you for what you are." The table went still. My father's hand froze mid-air, and all eyes turned to me. My name is John Carver, 27 years old. I'm the quiet one, the background brother, the one nobody notices until they need someone to blame. Clara was always louder, brighter. My father's pride. I was the shadow, the one who learned it was safer to keep my mouth shut. Silence became my shield, but silence also makes people think you're weak, or worse, guilty. I stared back at Clara. No words, just steady eyes, because I wasn't weak, and because tonight, for the first time, I wasn't coming empty-handed. Family members introduced the Carvers, 4 people who couldn't share a table without bleeding. Clara, 29, my sister, a storm in heels. Every word from her mouth was a blade, and somehow she always left clean. Richard Carver, my father, a man who only spoke to control. His love felt like a paycheck, and it never had my name on it. Elaine Carver, my mother. Tears were her language. I can't remember the last time she told me she believed me. "Sit down, John," my father said, waving his hand like I was a servant. Mom's lips moved like she wanted to stop him, but no sound came. Clara laughed under her breath. "You see? He doesn't belong here." But the way she squeezed her glass too tight, the way her eyes darted when she thought no one noticed. She was hiding something, and I already knew what it was. It began, as always, with money. The lake house, the inheritance, the trust fund. "You altered the documents," Richard snapped at Clara. His voice shook, though he tried to hide it. "Oh, please," Clara smirked. "I only took what was mine. Don't act like you're some saint, Dad." The words bounced across the dining room like grenades. Mom pressed her napkin to her mouth, whispering, "Please, stop." But no one listened. I stayed quiet, letting their voices climb higher and higher, because this was a dance I'd seen my whole life, everyone clawing for more while pretending they were victims. But then Clara slipped. "You think I don't know about the account in Mom's name? The one you drained for your nights at the casino?" The room cracked open, and I saw it in Dad's face. She wasn't lying. "You shut your mouth!" Richard slammed his hand on the table so hard the silverware jumped. Mom flinched, her eyes wet, shaking her head. "Richard, please." Clara leaned back, smug. "Finally. The truth tastes bitter, doesn't it?" Richard's face turned red, his jaw tight, and then Clara's finger pointed at me. "And him? Don't act like John's any better. He's been hiding, pretending. He's just waiting for us to fall apart so he can act superior." I didn't move. I didn't raise my voice. I just leaned forward, hands clasped, and said one line, calm, steady, dangerous. "You've mistaken my silence for weakness." The entire table froze. A memory burned through me as the table waited. 19 years old, Dad's truck had died. He cursed, shouted, blamed me for not being useful. So I worked 2 double shifts at the gas station, sold my guitar, the only thing I loved, just to hand him the money. He took it without a thank you. A week later, Clara got a new car, a shiny one. They called it her reward for being responsible. I stood outside that night, oil still on my hands, staring at her laughter echoing in the driveway. And when I looked at Mom through the kitchen window, She met my eyes. She knew, she always knew, and she stayed silent. Clara slammed her palm on the table. Fine. You want honesty? Dad's broke. He drained Mom's savings to cover his gambling. That's the truth. Mom's face cracked open with pain, like a secret wound finally bleeding. Richard shouted, "Don't you dare!" But his voice shook. And that's when I stood up, because I wasn't shocked. I wasn't even angry. "I've known for years," I said. My voice was quiet, but it cut through theirs. The debt. The forged checks. The money that was never yours. I've kept it all. Every slip, every receipt, every lie. I placed the folder on the table. Their faces drained of color. I've been silent, but not blind. Chaos. That's the only word for it. Clara screamed, Richard denied, Mom begged, voices overlapped, chairs scraped, the chandelier rattled like it wanted to fall. And I stayed calm. My voice cut the storm in half. I gave you all my silence. Tonight, I give you the truth. I opened the folder. Bank slips, copies of forged checks, letters from collectors, proof no one could deny. Richard's face went gray. Mom sobbed into her hands. Clara stared at me, her mask finally cracking, then she turned it back on me. "You've wanted this moment all your life," she hissed. "Not justice. Revenge." I pushed back my chair. The sound echoed in the broken room. Richard shouted something behind me, empty, powerless. Mom's voice trembled. "John, I'm sorry. I should have said something years ago." Her apology was late, imperfect, but it was real. And for a second, it almost broke me. I looked once at them. This family who had built me out of silence and shadows. They'll never see me the same again, I thought. And I don't need them to. Then I walked away. A week later, I sat in the airport with a coffee in my hand, boarding gate to Iceland flashing on the screen. Clara's wedding, the one I wasn't invited to, collapsed overnight. Her fiancé left. The venue canceled. The dream shattered. My phone lit up. 150 missed calls. Dozens of messages. I didn't open a single one. For the first time, I felt light. Not because I won, but because I was free. "Peace," I whispered. "Not forgiveness. Not revenge. Just peace. If you were in my place, would you forgive? Or would you walk away forever?" Tell me in the comments. Your voice matters here. Like this if you've ever been the silent one in your family, carrying pain no one saw. Subscribe for more stories where silence finally speaks, and share your story. Because your silence might be the same as someone else's healing.